Hey guys, I'm so glad that you all are here today again. So, today we have a really serious topic, but I'm sure together we can make it more into a conversation rather than something which is preachy. So, today, since it is a festival as well, so happy Akshaya Tritiya to whoever is celebrating. But these days, I've seen that there's a recurring pattern. Like there was a time when India or us especially, we didn't know what was depression even. Like we used to think it's just how it's portrayed in movies and TV serials. You keep crying, and there are a lot of other things. You cannot get out of bed, you cannot do your daily chores, and there is a lot of sadness, and basically everybody around you could see what is happening. But of course, because we are from brown families, so it was not given that much of importance, and it was considered ki bas natak kar rahe ho and all. But yeah, we've moved on. We know what is depression. There are a lot of people who now know who to go to, such as whether it's therapy, clinical depression, talking to friends, having a social community, and so on. Like we are even well versed with the medication and so on. But one thing that nobody talks about is functional depression. And today, let's see what exactly is functional depression, because it is really spreading like a plague at this point. Because loads of people think there is only one type of depression, and that is the signs they look out for. So they cannot even recognize it when they see it in themselves or even in their friends. So I'll just mention a few things and you let me know if it ticks your boxes. So let's imagine that you got up in the morning, alarm bajta hai, you get up, you get dressed, you go to work, you go to college, you do your whatever your responsibilities are. जो भी आपका, you know what you have to do, so you do it. You reply to messages, you may even laugh to memes, you stay in touch with your friends, you're all connected. On the surface level, you are perfect. But then, when you're alone, when you come back and you're just lying on your bed, and that is when there's a sense of emptiness, there is a sense of disconnect. Like you just feel, what am I doing with my life? Am I really happy? And there are a lot of these existential questions that you might have been asking yourself. And lately, it feels like they don't have any answers. And you feel that, yes, on the surface, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but there is something missing. Like, whether that is joy, whether that is ek tarah ka happiness, or basically that I'm just living a life I was supposed to lead rather than the one that I want to lead. Now, this can happen for a variety of reasons. Now, obviously, money is a factor. People have to work. Family can be a factor that you're forced into a career or studies where you don't really feel that level of motivation. But yes, the realism is also important, so we are not denying that. But what happens is that you're not exactly sad, like you're obviously not crying on the floor, you're just empty. You're feeling like you're going through the motions of life, but the life itself doesn't fully feel yours. And if this feeling is familiar, then you're at the right place. Because mention it in the comments or just book a session with us because we know what functional depression feels like and we are here for you. So now functional depression is almost like functional alcoholics, right? Because they are drinking, we know that, they know that, but they are able to function in such that maybe they are able to get their work done or even go through their normal variety of activities such as driving or exercising even. So we call them functional alcoholics because even though they have a problem, they have it under control. The problem with this attitude is that first we just brush whatever the problem is under the rug, and the second is that we don't give it its due importance. Now, there may come a time when the functional alcoholic will transform into a non functioning alcoholic, but at that point, it is too late for any sort of help, assistance, and basically they're gone. Functional depression is the same way. It is basically functioning till that breaking point, till you have a mental or nervous breakdown. And by then it is too late. You've lost something that would be difficult to get back. I'm not saying it will lead to something as grave as suicide, but you may irreparably damage yourself, or in some ways, just go into a shell so badly that it feels very difficult to come out. So, if you recognize these symptoms, it's better to get help the moment you do. And let's see. So, basically, the medical term for this is persistent depressive disorder or dysthymia. But these words don't really capture what it feels like. It just feels like you flipped through a medical dictionary and came out with them. So, when we think of what this looks like, it's basically being a totally functioning adult. Nobody will be even able to tell you that do you feel okay or are you not okay. It's not like those makeup ads where without kajal and people think you're dying. But the problem is that you're just putting on a mask, a facade, and that level of energy that it takes to just put up this mask is unbelievable. That energy should go into your recovery, your emotional uh, solutions, basically doing anything that gives you happiness. But here we are putting on act just so that we can keep our family, our friends, our colleagues happy. We want to do the best that we can without realizing that we don't have the emotional bandwidth for it, that we need to take a step back before we just sort of crash. And what happens is that you're always tired, you're just functioning, but there is something missing in such a way that it feels that I could do, I want to do so many things, but I'm just going through life like a fog, like a corpse, in fact. Like, let's take a small metaphor. So, imagine your phone is on 15% battery and it's still working. The apps are working, but everything is slower, dimmer, and you're constantly worried it'll die. But you never actually plug it in. And the scary part is that बहुत सारे लोग इसमें सालों तक रहते हैं, like without ever realizing it, because from the outside everything looks absolutely fine. I know it's getting repetitive because I'm saying that, but I just want you to realize that not realizing that you have a problem is also a problem. And sometimes it is that acceptance, it is that realization that can just pull you out or at least help you take a step towards moving. And that moment is very important. And I'm not saying this just because I've studied it or read about it, or it's just something that, okay, now I want clients, so I'm doing this. No, I'm saying this because I have been through it. And I want you to actually recognize this in yourself or somebody you love. So let's consider the signs. So sign number one, the Sunday dread. Like your Sunday evening and एक feeling like next week के बारे में सोच के जो anxiety आती है, that there's nothing to look forward to. It's not just Monday blues. It's the whole week. Like even when you think that, oh, maybe I have weekend plans or should I make weekend plans, there's nothing you're looking forward to. Everything just seems like a chore, even something that at one point used to get really make you feel happy, whether that is your meeting your friends or even engaging in some of your hobbies. And that low grade dread that never fully goes away, that's not just hating Mondays, that can be a sign. And the next sign, so you can't remember the last time you felt genuinely excited for something. Was it a concert? Was it a date? Was it a promotion? Was it meeting your family? It's just that you feel that, nay, I've just been going through life. That's it. I haven't been living it. And I'm not talking about being happy for a moment, like for a selfie you smiled and that's happiness. No, I'm talking about actually when was the last time you looked forward to something? Think about that and try and remember what really got you out of this drudgery. So, sign number three, you are tired but you can't sleep. And if anybody was there in our last session, no, I'm not talking about sleep procrastination. I'm talking about how it feels that if I go to sleep, it doesn't matter. If I don't, it doesn't matter. You're just apathetic to anything. Like you feel that even if I wake up, I'm exhausted. It's like you're a zombie. You're just trapped in your mind. You know that maybe there's the TV running and you're just looking at it. You're not even really paying attention or absorbing what is on it. Yeah, maybe even you're scrolling. Your thumbs are just moving on their own. But there is no LOL in real life. You may be typing it, but not there in you. And basically, this happens is because your body and mind are disconnected. So, sign number four, small things feel disproportionately heavy. Like replying to a text feels like climbing a mountain. Like sometimes it happens that you may reply in your head, or you may just procrastinate and be like, I'll do it later. Even though it's just a small text and the moment has passed, and then you get into a guilt cycle that, oh, I should have replied. And see, it's another whole thing starting up again. Or maybe you're worried about this and you reply instantly to make sure that you do not miss an email, a message, or you do not make the other person feel bad. Being so perfect is also causing you a lot of stress because it takes away a lot of your energy, not to mention that it is making you seem I have to be on top of everything. And that is causing a lot of sadness as well because somewhere down the line you start thinking kya yahi meri life hai, will I always have to just live like this and keep doing these things that I don't like doing but I have to. When these sort of feelings come up, just question yourself that where does this have to come from? Like in India, we do have a corporate workplace environment which is toxic. So they may message you even after hours, and you might feel that I'm obligated to reply or message or even just get on a call, quick email, which is never quick. But there are boundaries that you have to set down. Even if you feel guilty about it, just remember these boundaries are going to help you give your best at work. Because if you're functioning like this, when you're so exhausted, when you're so stressed, then your work load is teeming because you cannot handle that workload on top of this emotional load. Not to mention your performance will suffer as well. And if it is with friends or even family, then let them know that I'm a little tired right now and these are the hours that I'll be dedicating to me time. So, if possible, do not disturb me at this time, or maybe I'll just report or get back to you after some time. Because if you have friends and family, that is a blessing in itself. But sometimes you just have to communicate your needs. And if this is you, then try taking this very small step. You don't, if you don't feel comfortable, don't start it with the job. Start it simply with your parents, your siblings, your partner, or your friends. Just tell them, I need this hour for myself. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's see, maybe your support system will help you get out of this. And so, five, you're present but you're not really there. So, log baat kar rahe hai and you don't know where you are. Like you're mentally just checked out. You're in the room but not actually in it. Sign six, you stop doing things you used to love. Like there were a lot of things, whether it was going on a bike ride, painting, cooking, anything, any thing that used to give you a little bit of joy. But in this rat race, you've just forgotten how to feel. You've just forgotten how to take time out of yourself. And that is really interfering because now you measure everything with, is this task worth it? Like, kya ye karne se, is it going to help me in any way? Is it going to give me like, everything has become like a profit and loss statement. And that's where things have gone wrong. I'm not saying you don't have to spend the whole day not working or not studying, but it's very important that if nothing else, then at least maybe 1 hour a week. And I'm talking about hardcore workaholics or perfectionists or topper students because more than this they may not be able to allow themselves without guilt right now. So start with 1 hour a week, if nothing else, if that's the minimum you owe yourself. So, sign 7, you feel guilty for feeling this way. You feel that there's nothing missing in my life. Like, people have it worse. I have a lot of things I'm thankful for, and that's great. It's not always necessary that you have to face some sort of trauma, yeah, dukh bari kahani and backstory and everything. Sometimes it just feels that you need to give your mind, your body, your heart a reboot, and it's okay. You don't have to feel that I'm so ungrateful, or maybe I shouldn't talk about this to anyone because I don't deserve help. There's absolutely nothing like that. Come here, we are here. It's a non judgmental, safe zone for you to express yourself. Because please just don't feel guilty, because that makes it way worse. And if any of these signs match you, please mention it to me in the comment section. So, as I mentioned earlier, I've been through functional depression myself, and this was like, I could say, there was I was doing my double masters, so it was chaotic. But on the sidelines, I was also doing editing projects and everything. And I was trying to be social, I was trying to be much better than the earlier versions of myself. There was a lot of working on myself as well. So, yeah, I was social. I was functioning and everything was going great. But when I used to reach home, I would just sit on the bed and be sort of absorbed by it. I would just be almost like there was all the life had been sucked out of me, and that just showed me that how it feels. Because on the surface, you're doing everything you wanted to do. Like, none of this was forced. This was everything I had chosen for myself. So where was the problem? But the problem was that when you are carrying so much of load, so many bundles on your head, on your shoulders, even if it's invisible, it takes a toll. And that is what I realized at some point, that I am pushing myself to the limit while giving up on my health, while giving up on all the other activities I used to love. Like, there was a time I used to love writing, used to engage in it a lot. But yeah, since my masters, like, I don't think I wrote at all. Like, only just the very important stuff. In fact, writing at that point became something that I had to do for some sort of reason rather than the joy it gave me. And that's the biggest message I would say, is that recognizing the signs that you need help, recognizing that no, the way I've been living life is not working out. I need to change. I need to reconfigure my settings before it just blows up in my face. And what I did after that was I completed my master's and everything, and I took a break. Now, I won't say I was not working at that time, but yes, I tried to not say yes to every project. I tried to not assign my value with my academic or uh, corporate or career pursuits, because that is not us. You are way more than the money you earn, you are way more than the intelligence you have, you are way more value than you assign yourself. And after that, I just took like a 1 year break. I worked on myself, I worked on my health. And yes, I'm not exactly at the place I should be, because that is the perfectionist in me and I have a long way to go. But I took the road less traveled, and I'm here to say that it is possible for me, so it is possible for you. And basically, what I remember from that period was there was always an emptiness. There was a big disconnect. Like, imagine I was studying counseling at that time. I knew what the signs were, and all the textbooks were right in front of me. But yes, I would say functional depression was not something that is very easily there. It took me a long time while reading, while learning about myself, to understand and know that there is a term for it. So when I think about that, it wasn't the worst period of my life. I made it the worst because I did not recognize my limits in a physical toil manner. But when I realized that I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you simply because I recognize that in today's chaotic world, we need somebody to say that I recognize your signs. I know you're here. You're not lazy, you're not ungrateful, you're not dramatic. And you just might be carrying something that deserves proper attention. So, and it's not just that हम common लोग ये suffer करते हैं. A lot of high achieving people in the world have talked about this. So, of course, number one person to come to mind in the Indian context would be Deepika. And she has obviously openly talked about depression. But what is amazing is that she did some of her best work during this period. Now, that doesn't mean that I am highlighting that, okay, depression made her work so well. I'm just saying that it takes a lot of strength to first of all come out, but it takes a lot of strength to even mention that she was shooting, she was going for award ceremonies, dance, recording songs, doing a lot of things. In fact, Cocktail was shot during the height of her depression, and that's just a classic sign of functional depression because achieving everything on the outside while feeling hollow on the inside. Now, for all cricket fans here, even Virat Kohli mentioned that he felt completely alone during the 2014 England tour, and he was even in a very dark place. But still, at that point, he performed at his highest level, while struggling silently inside. Selena Gomez is another example. She said she would go on stage, perform for so many people, come back to her hotel room, and feel completely empty. So the performance was definitely real, but the emptiness, the sadness, the hollowness was also extremely real. And of course, we have Jim Carrey. And it's isn't it amazing that somebody who has made like so many people laugh their hearts out actually suffered because and he really wanted people to know because the avatar that he created including Woody Allen and so many other people who, uh, because we don't know them, we don't know their inner lives, we just imagine that, oh, they're the same as they are on TV, on screen, on movies, etc. But we forget that they are real people as well and they suffer because they have to perform so much that uh, they just are forced to take a mask, take some sort of they can't even take some time for themselves. They just have to always be on, like whether it's because the media is always following them or there is always a next project to get through. And one thing is that we should always remember to not lose touch with what you're feeling, to not get emotionally devoid to the extent that you can't even understand what emotions are going through right now. Because emotions are a very actual, real, necessary part of us. So for all the K-drama fans here, please let me know in the comments. So a K-drama called "It's Okay to Not Be Okay" was primarily based on this that there will be things that you cannot control. There will be things that will not be okay. But as long as you can work on yourself, you're willing to fall down and get up, things will go well. And I don't mean this in terms of a version of yourself where you have to keep pushing in order to be okay because that is what we are doing, right? We feel that agar hum kaam karte rahenge it will just pass off, or if we just continue to put in the effort because we have to, and everything will be okay, but that's not how it works. So even in the serial it's just beautifully depicted how the main character takes care of his brother, holds everything together, seems completely in control, but is emotionally shut down. And of course, when we come to Bollywood, we have Dear Zindagi because Alia Bhatt's character Kaira, she has to go to counseling because she's doing everything that a young person of her age should be doing. Like she's working, she's a young professional, she's talented, has friends, but there is something missing inside of her. And in the film, it is that she's not being able to hold on to relationships or feeling that there is something fundamentally wrong with her. It shows just how beautifully that therapy doesn't always have to be very clinical. It's just about having an honest conversation, and that's why we are here. So when we come to normal people in Hulu, so this is also a flawless program. And there is Connell's character. He gets a scholarship. He's doing well academy. He has people around him, but he slips into a deep depression that nobody around him sees coming because he was functioning until he wasn't. So the show handles it amazingly, just without any drama, without exaggeration. It just shows what it is. And that is simply a quiet unraveling that happens between the surface of a normal looking life. And let's talk about why people don't get help. So, obviously, we have the age old stigma that about depression, that it's just something that people can get over with and they don't need help, and you're just doing a natak, or just snap out of it. But that's not how it works. So reason number one, they don't think it's bad enough. They feel that there's nothing really wrong with me, सब कुछ जो चल रहा है वो चल रहा है, that I'm okay, मैं ठीक हूँ. And they feel that a depression is what is depicted, so it's not that bad, so I'm good. But the thing is, you don't need to be at rock bottom to deserve support. You don't need to be drowning to learn how to swim properly. Help is always just a call away, a message away, a DM away, a comment away. So, reason number two, log kya kahenge? Like in Indian families, this is a common thing that you should have a backstory or something that shows why you have a depression. Maybe it's breakup or something like that. But it's not always the case for someone. Maybe there's just something is missing and you've not really recognized why. And we'll explore it. Not everything has to be done by everyone. There are professionals who can make sure that you get the right help while understanding where the problem is stemming from. And reason number three, that they have normalized it. Like, ये तो मेरी पर्सनालिटी है, मैं नेचुरली ऐसी हूँ, मैं इंट्रोवर्ट हूँ, और मैं तो बड़ा सेंसिटिव हूँ. It's not like that. There's a difference between personality and prolonged emotional numbness. You don't have to just live like this. And reason number four, they don't know where to start. And honestly, that's a valid reason, because you feel there are so many people online claiming so many different things. There are books, there are courses, and I don't know what I should go with. But if this video resonates with you, again, I'm right here. And it's very important that you have the right person to talk to. Now, a lot of people have talked to their friends and they have recognized that my friend is not connecting with this, or I did not get the response that they should have given me. So I'm wrong and I will never talk about it to anyone. That's not how it works. They were not maybe equipped to handle that level of what you're talking to, or maybe they have their own problems, or maybe people being people, they were just being callous or rude. Do not place someone at a pedestal and then put everyone in the same rung where you made them fall down to. What I mean by this is simply do not generalize people. Do not take one chance and say, I will never take it again. Because all that you're doing with that sort of fear is just hurting yourself. And so let's talk about how to actually help yourself. So, practically, one thing that helps is to name it, to understand where is the problem, to stop misrepresenting yourself, that you're not lazy, you're not broken, you might be experiencing functional depression. एक नाम देने से it starts the process. Now, next step is to stop performing okayness. Like, just for one honest conversation with one person you trust, drop the I'm okay message, or drop the I'm okay live. There might be somebody in your life who has genuinely been interested in asking you that if you're okay, and if you feel comfortable, talk to them. If nothing else, try and find maybe a friend online, or just go out and give yourself a little bit of a jolt. Push yourself into an emotion that you have been avoiding. For a lot of people, that emotion is fear, because we just sink into this complacency attitude that everything is good, तो जैसा चल रहा है वैसा चलने दो. And obviously, when that happens, your life is way too comfortable. Now, I'm not saying you're happy, I'm saying you're comfortable. And in some ways, it also leads to having a boring average life, which is why you're facing a problem. You feel that if I don't travel this path, I lose my safety, my stability, my structure. So you don't have to lose it. Just take a small risk. And by risk, I do not mean that you have to go high speed racing or go into a gambling den or anything. By risk, I just mean put yourself in a position that you know will make your heart race. Now, that can be anything. If you feel somewhere down the line that I'm lonely, then maybe go and find new friends. Whether if you're somebody who feels like I want to start dating, but I'm just too happy in my own bubble, if that is your ambition, then maybe go and try speed dating. It might or might not work out, but it'll just get you out of your comfort zone. It'll make you talk to people who are totally new strangers, and maybe you can say something or try a different joke, maybe try a different personality out. If you're maybe try some different hobbies, go traveling, go solo backpacking, take care of your safety as well. But just put yourself in a position, maybe just sign up for a marathon, a race, anything, or go to a theater or a circus or anything that is happening around you that you would never normally step into. Your next homework is basically doing something that makes your heart race. Even if it is something as simple as exercise, if you have not been doing it, do it. Even if it's something like, oh, let me just eat some ice cubes and freeze my throat, do it. Anything that gets you out of the slump. Okay. And let's moving on to the next step. So, micro moments of genuine feeling. Like I mentioned, just start small. A new song, a new film, a new serial, even something that is cringe, as long as it makes you really laugh. Anything that feels like इसको करने से मेरा कोई फायदा नहीं है, do that thing. Move your body. Dance therapy is very very important. Now whether you do it as connecting with nature walk, you do it as dance therapy, you do it as zumba, yoga, exercising, the gym, anything works as long as you move your body. I know it sounds super boring, but the research on this is genuinely strong. Even 20 minutes of walking changes your neurochemistry. It doesn't fix anything, but it creates just enough of a shift to make the next step possible. And yes, talk to someone who actually knows what this is. Anything works. Even you could even create yourself into that person if you are willing to put in the time, the effort, the energy, whether that is reading more on it or just watching more reels on it also, because sometimes Instagram or Facebook threads or whatever you use is also a beautiful community. But just remember that not everybody will have the same experiences, and do not get taken in by people. You're just there to gain more knowledge. Do not start some new side quest that may turn into a performance issue for you. We are not trying to add more pressure at all. So yeah, before I go, I just want to say one thing. Functional depression is sneaky because it lets you keep going, it lets you function. And तुम सिर्फ function करने के लिए नहीं बने. If today made you think even a little, please don't brush it off. Don't tell yourself you're being dramatic. Don't wait until things get worse. You deserve to feel okay every day, every moment. You do not deserve to just sit in an endless fog and go through life making other people happy or doing things for other people. You're your own person. You deserve as much of that joy as you're spending so much energy spreading around. So whether you want to find me on Instagram, as I've dropped, it's at the rate creativo.xyz. My WhatsApp number is here in case you want to book a session. And just to listen to this, I'm so thankful you're here. So take care of yourself. Let's meet later. Bye for now.